Hey yo guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video on the Overmotor channel. It has been so long since I've posted, and as you can see here, I've got a bike rack on the back of my car, and this is hinting towards something. If you guys remember the last video, if you watched the last video, you will remember that I said that I sold my old 72 volt Stealth Bomber electric bike and decided to go Surron route. And this is the video showing my Surron. Oh my god, it's beautiful. So this is my 72 volt Surron Light Bee. It is absolutely beautiful. I'm gonna take you guys out on a ride and show you what I've done to it and how we got to this point and why it's been so long since I've last posted. Pretty much that is good there. All right, and we're off. We finally have the Surron complete. It's been what, probably 3 or 4 months since I've last uploaded something, and once again I'm sorry for that, guys. I just literally had nothing to upload. Luckily though, this thing is all done. Now I can finally ride it and I can show you guys what it's like, and I think it's gonna be just bangers after bangers. Woo! This thing jumps so well. It's freaking awesome. So let's park it up right here. Let me give you guys the rundown. All right, so here she is, the Overmotor 72 volt Surron. It is so freaking cool, man. I absolutely love everything about it. I've spent so long piecing the parts together, making sure everything works. Basically, if you guys haven't seen the last video, I mentioned that I was going to be building a Surron completely from scratch. And for about 6 weeks or so, that was totally what I had planned on doing. I was going to start literally from the frame up and build everything out completely. And about 6 weeks into it, I realized it was freaking impossible. And so I continued with it. And so this bike has been completely built from the frame up. Everything about it is not from an original Surron. And although it looks like a Surron, it technically is not a Surron because these are all individually sourced parts. Why did I do this? Basically to save money, as well as to just give myself the fun factor. So something that I really like about this platform and just the e-bike platform in general is how easy it is to put something like this together without having any knowledge. And now I'm not saying it was super easy to put it all together, far from it, but for somebody that's not a mechanic or doesn't know how to work on anything, I've literally never worked on a bike, a car, anything like that. I've never even actually changed a tire on a regular mountain bike or bicycle or anything like that. So this is all brand new stuff. I learned so much during this process. What's good, man?
Okay.
So going from the front to the rear, basically I've got a 21-inch Lunicycle front tire, as well as rim and everything like that, all from Lunicycle. This is a beefy dirt tire. It is pretty thick, and it is definitely stronger than your stock one. This is a super setup. It's an 1821 setup from Luna, and I think the total came out to like $550 for the set, with the tires installed, with everything installed. Everything was already pumped up, so I literally just had to take it and install it on the bike, and it made it so much easier, I swear to God. Then I've got these beautiful EXT Ferro forks. Man, they are perfect. They are nice and solid. They take out any bumps. They're just absolutely meant for this bike. The Fox 40s are fantastic, but EXT Ferro are specifically meant for the Surron, which means that you actually get a warranty. You get a 2-year warranty with these Ferros, as long as you obviously don't modify them too much or anything like that. You get 2 years of warranty, whereas with the Fox, your warranty is gone as soon as you install them on a Surron. Definitely something to consider. On top of that, you've got a dirt bike fork. That's a possibility, of course. But the issue with that is that they're so heavy and they're so big, and it just completely changes the geometry of the bike. Whereas these kind of keep the geometry of the bike, and they look similar in a way, you know, in terms of their size and everything like that, to a stock Surron fork, which I actually prefer. Then over here, as you can see, we've got these beautiful Ripon Moto 250mm front rotors. These are absolutely fantastic. They stop the bike on a dime. And speaking of the brakes, I've got the TRP DHR Evo front and rear brakes. I'm going to get to that in just a second. These are such good brakes. They're fantastic. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend anything else if you are, you know, doing some hardcore riding. Then basically coming a little further to the front, I've got Warp 9, and Warp 9 here, as well as a bit of a carbon fiber head tube spacer there. As you can see, the look that I'm going for is carbon fiber black and red. Got a egg rider in the front, a light switch that if I turn on, you can see that turns on, but this is super cool. You can change the color of an LED ring around it. Then you've got the TRPs, front and rear. Got a stock Surron throttle because a domino throttle is way too much. I'm just gonna run the stock throttle until it breaks, and once it breaks, then I replace it with a new stock throttle. Cost me 15 bucks. Nice. I've got Pro Taper grips, and these are absolutely fantastic grips, along with a regen throttle over here. That's a variable regen throttle, which allows me to basically hit the brakes and the motor regens, and on top of that, I, you know, hit the brakes. I lose speed. So I can use this instead of the brakes, instead of the TRPs when I'm riding just around the town or anything like that. And this is also surprisingly strong. It can lock up the rear wheel. Then I've got carbon fiber ignition plate, carbon fiber battery cap, got a little pouch over here just to hold all the goodies. Then coming down to here, I've got a fantastic EBMX 72 volt 57 amp hour battery. This is about the biggest battery that you can get for the Surron that, you know, somewhat still looks okay on the bike. It performs fantastic. It is more than enough power, especially for me, and this is, you just can't beat it. And so to complement the 72 volt battery, I've got a BAC 4000. This thing runs fantastically. I've got a little heat sink on the front as well. That kind of changes the look of it. It covers up all that silver. And I've got a bit of a tape going around both edges to kind of, you know, keep it somewhat in line with the colors. Then coming down to here, I've got a cover from Surron shop, as well as a GFG Racing bumper as well, which is super nice. I've got a grit shift bash plate, which is very, very nice once again, as well as a stock Surron motor that I don't know if you can quite see it, but I've basically painted the inside red, the inside stripe red, instead of keeping it that bronze color, which just adds a little extra to the bike. Then I've got some Amazon special foot pegs. These have a bit of like a plastic on the bottom here, which apparently is supposed to help when you're sliding. It, you know, won't cause it to all scratch up totally, but yeah, so I don't really know how well that'll end up working, but I thought, hey, might as well give it a go. And then as you can see in the center here, I've got actually 2 peg spacers. Now, I didn't have to put 2. You don't have to put 2. I just thought it would look cool. It looks a little different. It's a little something different. Then we come up here and I've got a riser kit just from Amazon. Once again, another Amazon special. Then we've got the Voncat 10.5 rear shock. I've spray painted the shock in red, but other than that, it's basically just a Voncat 10.5 rear shock. I've got Warp 9 linkage, as well as Warp 9 titanium bolts. I think this is probably the best linkage setup you can run, other than potentially the Grit Shift titanium linkage, but that's just, it's just so expensive for linkage. I think it's like $300 or $400 for each of the pieces, and that's just way too much for me. So this is, I think, pretty much the second best option you can find out there. Then I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got a underglow kit. Basically that plugs in to this new light. This is also an aftermarket light. So pretty much everything on this bike is aftermarket except for the frame and maybe the wiring and the motor, and that's probably it. That's probably all that's stock. On top of that, I've got this cover, which is a fake carbon fiber. I've got a extended rear fender, just extends the bike out a little bit longer. It makes it look a little bit nicer. I've got a Luna-Cycle float seat, as well as an Enjoy MPG, I think it's called, or MFG seat cover. This is nice. It's got, you know, the ribs. And then you can see here, I've got a Warp 9 chain primary drive. This is fantastic. I think they call it the Warp drive. It's a little loud, but it's definitely quieter than the other chains that I've tested. I had 2 different variants before this one, just testing them out, and this was the quietest that I could find, so definitely worth it, as well as a prickly motor guard, which is super nice as well. Then, as I mentioned, the stock swing arm, but then I've got a carbon fiber, real carbon fiber piece that comes up over here. It's a little fender just to prevent any mud from, you know, coming straight at the shock and the linkages. Then back here I've got the TRP DHR Evo rear brake, as well as a 250mm rear rotor. That is absolutely fantastic, along with this beautiful 18-inch Luna-Cycle rear wheel. It's like the perfect width. The gap between the wheel and the chain is about yay much. And last but not least, we've got a JFG Racing chain guard, as well as this massive 58 tooth sprocket with a non-O-ring chain. And yeah, oh my god, there's a whole bunch of other stuff that's like under the hood that I've done to it. I mean, I could probably go on for hours about everything that I've done to this bike, but long story short, this is fantastic. Now let's go ride. This thing is insane. It's actually insane. And I know I'm just kind of riding in the parking lot, guys, so there's not a whole bunch of riding going on, but I'm just getting used to this thing, just to see you guys are. And here's the electronic brake as well, how that's working. So I hold that down, brings the bike to a nice stop. All right, guys, and so with that, thank you so much for watching. I know it was a lot of information, and it has been a while since I've been back on YouTube, so I'm sorry if I'm not as coherent as I usually am. Long story short, I just wanted to get this video out for you guys, just to show you that, yes, I'm still alive, yes, I'm still posting, and yes, I'm still riding e-bikes, baby. Oh yeah. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next video. Peace out.